So today, Justine and I are touching base on a controversial topic that is going to get people into a tizzy. Feel free to comment about it because, you
What's
know,
it?
we don't mind. But also make sure that watch the full video before you make a comment, and you might make a dick out of yourself because Justine and I don't just open these cans of worms and let them fester. We have justification for it as well. So today we're talking about 3-day hypnosis trainings and why they are inferior, especially when it comes to working with mental health and any kind of training that is like, say, $99 for the full spiritual
Yeah, I was going to
protocol
say,
or
yeah, mine,
something like that.
the,
But
the
before
online ones. Yeah.
but before we do, let's talk about something normal or not. Okay? So this one's very, very placid. It's very, very placid. Is it normal or not to ask retail staff to look in the back when something is out of stock?
Well, I always like, so if I go shoe shopping and there's shoes that I like, and I haven't actually this year, but I have got a bit of a sneaker addiction and I like Skechers and stuff. So it is my weakness. And if there was ever something, if there wasn't my size, I always ask if I like something. Same with jeans. If I was buying jeans, I'd definitely ask.
Mhm.
But that would be in more small shops. Like I probably wouldn't go into Kmart and say, hey, or the
Yeah,
warehouse or
yeah.
something, because I mean, they're just throwing shit out all the time out onto the
Yeah,
store.
that's a good
But
point.
definitely a small shop, I'd ask, have you got this out the back? Because I know they usually do. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I think it would depend on the shop for me, but I have no issues asking if they've got my size out the back if I want something.
Yeah, I don't think of it.
You don't
I
think of it?
Well, to be honest, that I might be a more of a depth thing, where if I go into a shop and there's not what I want available, then I just go to the next shop.
Yeah.
Or on Google. So for those of you that are watching, you can jump on Google, which is just that app there. Oh shit, which is just that app there. And then when you touch it, what you can do is you can take a photo of an item or even a screenshot on your phone, and it'll find all the places that that item is available that has images. So that way, if it's not at, say, Spotlight, it might be at Lincraft, for example. So I don't even ask. Like,
But I'm
I
one of
find
those
it a bit
things that
weird.
I was going to say, if I want something, it's not like I'm going to go into town and just randomly shop. It's
Not
like
me
if I go
either.
to town and buy, because I don't particularly like being around lots of people and all that kind of stuff. So if I was going in town to grab some shoes, say
Mhm.
some white like shoes that I like, I would go into town for that, and it will be in my mind, and I'm going to have that shoe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I will budge if they definitely don't have it and get something else, but I'm going to damn well try to get what I want at that shop. Do you know what I mean?
I must admit, here at Kmart, it shits me to tears because they have their checkouts in the middle of the store.
Oh,
So,
same with ours, yeah.
yeah, you get your stuff, you purchase in the middle of the store, and then you leave, and then you get treated like a criminal as you go out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm an absolute asshole for it. So I just walk out. And if they're like, can we scan that? I'm like, yeah, sure, follow me. I'm not stopping. Like, I
Yeah.
am a good citizen. I've paid for my item. I'm leaving. But I must admit, because I hate that checkout system so much, and I refuse to buy clothes or shoes online unless I've tried them on first, because trust me, on the rack compared to on my body, it's a whole different reality. And I have gone in, tried it on in Kmart, and then left and ordered it online,
Yeah.
just so I don't have to deal with those people or
I
that
wonder
whole
why they do that.
criminology
Like,
mindset.
I wonder why they do that. Because yeah, I was
I
in
want,
Kmart the other day, and yeah, it's right in the middle to the
yeah,
back of the shop. I don't know if
I
it's
want
for
to know
safety or
who I want to know who pitched it to Kmart in the first place so I can throat punch them
yeah,
because you are a great salesman, but you're a fucking moron. It's like the dickhead who decided that paper straws were better than plastic ones. Fuck off. No, it's not. Oh, we're going to save the environment. And I'm like, and kill the trees. Like, there's always a trade-off.
yeah, and they go
So,
soft. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. I love it when you get given an iced chocolate because it takes quite a long time. It's freezing cold, so it takes
yeah,
ages to drink it. So
yeah.
by the time you get to the bottom, the cardboard's wrecked
hmm
of the straw.
I admit, I always drink from a straw because I can get it in better. I think I bought every single plastic straw. I've got like 5,000 of them in the cupboard. I swear I bought every single plastic straw and put them in the cupboard when all these
Are you going
paper
to bring your
straws were
straws
coming in.
to the conference?
Oh no, I've got my little sippy bottle, so I'm
We should
good.
have. Maybe, yeah, one day we should give out sippy bottles at the conference with our logos on them.
Just give me a plastic straw. And then people are like, oh, buy those metal ones. No, no, no. We're talking sensory chewing here, okay? So I like to chew the end of the straw, okay? It's sensory chewing. There's a
So
whole
how we
different
go from
mentality
Kmart
going on here.
shopping to our
No, no.
conversation prior to starting, which was just and
And
then
now we're going to learn how to make the holes in cheese.
how do you make their bubbles popping, right?
They're yeast bubbles, yeah.
Oh, that's I was gonna say. If there was
I don't know
something
why I
different,
remembered that, but I can't remember the email I've got to answer.
that was my logical brain thinking that that's got to be bubbles popping. But if they actually put ping pongs on the cheese to make the circles, I'd crack up laughing and then pull them out. You know what I mean?
I would like to see that, to be honest.
I don't think it would work.
No. So yeah, so we come across this a lot, and I've been scammed by it as well. I did the 3-day hypnosis training, went out into the world thinking I could help people quit smoking. Yeah, I could help relax, but we can all help everybody relax, and that I could help people with pain management. So when I did it, it was weight loss, relaxation, pain management, and quit smoking. And holy shitballs, McGee, did I get a smack in the face when I realized that it was so much more than that. And, and these spiritual trainings, I've bought the one for like, $49 or $17, whole diploma, blah, blah, blah. And it's all just like, it's interesting stuff. It's interesting to learn. But the reality is, when you're working in a business complex model, it's kind of just rubbish.
I think it's for me the sad thing about the smaller trainings is that, and I'm going to say this with we were talking about this before. So there's a massive difference between training in hypnotherapy or clinical hypnotherapy and learning a modality that utilizes the state of hypnosis or
Correct.
trance as its way of working with a person. Because I see on a lot of pages how people learn a brilliant modality, so like I'll say QHHT because I love QHHT and it's a brilliant modality. Um, Same with SP, it's a brilliant modality, and I teach SP myself. Um, and their modalities and learning those modalities, which it's got a structure. It's got this is the induction, this is the structure to use. It's a whole protocol and process in itself. So you do an SP session or you do a QHHT session, or so their modalities. Learning that is quite different to learning when you just go and do a training in, say, clinical hypnotherapy. You learn hypnotherapy, you learn different inductions, you learn different ways of working, different ways of using metaphor, you learn what's underneath.
Captions.
There's so much. For me, the biggest thing is you learn what's underlying everything so that you can do whatever you need to do with a client. And
And a great metaphor for this is think of it as an accessory. So you do your clinical hypnotherapy diploma, and then SP is an accessory. So it goes with this stuff. So that way, if you hit those glitches or those clients that are a little bit different or have a block that you think, oh gosh, what do I do here? You can use all of this together.
yeah, and like
But
say
it's
with
an
me, I'll use
accessory.
I'll use SP as an example because, like I said, I teach it and I fucking love it. For me, I use SP on most of my clients in the program, and you can go and learn SP on its own without having trained in hypnotherapy, and you can do that modality.
But you would stick
But
to
the
just
training is
SP.
different to, like, say, a clinical hypnotherapy training where it's 1,000 hours, and you learn. It's almost like the difference between learning learning like CBT and counseling. Do you know what I mean? This is a modality and this is the overbranch, if
Mm,
that kind of makes sense. And
mm.
inside of that, you've got lots of different things. But yeah,
And we're working in mental health. So it's not like you get mental health and you just work in a specific category. So, for example, you would work with scissors or pens. You're literally working with the whole kit and caboodle.
Shebang.
And it's not like you can turn around and go, oh, sorry, I only work with women aged 35 that are exactly 5'6" tall at 48 kilos. Like, you don't get the specifics. You get the whole shebang.
Yeah,
And not one thing is going to deal with just everybody. And
yeah,
if it
yeah.
did, then we'd be fine to go. But the part where I struggle with the 3 day hypnosis criteria is people thinking, and they get sucked into the hype, because I got sucked into it as well, that you can now go out and run a full-fledged business and help people. Now, no one's saying that you can't help people, because yes, you can, but I 100% guarantee you, you will hit the failure block at some stage, and not only will you give yourself a bad name, but the industry as a whole
Yeah, yeah.
as well.
And yeah, so we'll put the so for when we're talking about a 3-day hypnosis training, we'll take QHHC and SP and put it to the side because that was my example of brilliant
Yeah.
modalities. So
Mm.
we won't split it so people don't think I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the
No,
brick
don't
above
don't think
them.
anything
So
like that.
we'll split it to like yeah, people offering weekend hypnosis trainings or
Mm.
yeah, the latest one was become a hypnotherapist in this package for $99 with alongside other trainings and and the people's version of what hypnotherapy is literally doing a progressive muscle relaxation, walking down some stairs and relaxing down and then reading a script and that's what you learn in the couple of little videos that you got and then you're a hypnotherapist. Now I don't like when someone has a hypnotherapy session with me, the first session you won't see. Probably. You probably won't see with me an induction and this big hypnotherapy session. And same with you, I know, Trish, because you do
Yeah,
something different.
yeah. I
That's
don't
not
do
even a
any
part of
hypno
the
in the first session.
hypnotherapy session in the first session. There's
Hmm.
so much to it, and that's one small part of it. And, you know, even understanding that we're in trance all of the time and that open eyes trance through conversation is just as effective as using an induction and doing things or using imagination. But for these people to do this training and come out thinking they're a hypnotherapist because it
I think that's where the
quite
problem is
frustrating.
in the word is hypnotherapist. They believe they are a therapist,
Mm.
but we're not really. You're just starting out in the realm. It's still great training to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely do it.
especially introduction. Yeah,
Absolutely, but don't think you can just run out there and start running a full-fledged business, because you're going to hit those blocks, and then you're going to get to that stage where I've had, oh my gosh, probably over 1,000 Zoom interviews with people for wanting to get onto Clinical Hypnosis Australia, believing that they can be recognized as a professional of our industry by just doing these 3 day trainings or this weekend training or this 5 day reset or whatever it is. And then I have to tell them, I'm so sorry. And then they've gone and invested 10,000, 20,000 with the next tier up of the training, and it doesn't even cut the mustard. And I've had to tell them, I'm really sorry, but that kind of training is not eligible. And
and it's not. Yeah, and it's
even with
not you
CH,
choosing. I was
it's
going to
not
say it's not
me.
you. It's
It's set by the health association, by the health groups. And even with CHA, there are trainers that we don't have on our website, but that doesn't mean that they're not eligible. All you've got to do is show us the modules and show us the amount of hours, and boom, you're good to go. Like there's people like Rhonda Stewart. She's not on our website, but her training is perfectly fine with the clinical hypnotherapy diploma. We've got no issues with that. But it's when
yeah,
you're doing these small micro trainings, and no one's saying they're inferior training, because they're absolutely not. They're totally worth doing, but they're not worth doing if you want to be taken seriously as a clinical hypnotherapist in order to get yourself right up there, because you will hit those blocks at some stage in your career. There was
yeah,
one lady who said to me, and hey, I completely vouch for her. There's one lady that said to me, she goes, I did a 3-day training and I've got 100% hit rate. And my response was, you haven't seen enough clients yet.
Well, yeah, because no one has a
Because
100% hit rate.
it's coming. It's
Mm.
coming. Even if you've seen 50 clients for quit smoking and you've had 100% hit rate because you're counting it, it's coming. You will get somebody in your room with anxiety, depression, with PTSD, or something along those lines. And if you're stepping outside the scope of your training, thinking, I can help this person, and then it all goes to shit, it was coming.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the thing is, it's like, for me, it's, yeah, I feel because there are people out there totally 100% that can go and do a small training, but they're naturally doing it anyway. I mean,
Mm.
there's people that are just, good at the shit and intuitive
Oh,
and out
John
there
is
doing a
amazing.
business.
He's just a
But I
natural.
think it's more to do with for us, it's when these people come and they want to join as a registered member, and it's not so big a deal in New Zealand because we don't have the private health insurance yet. But for you, when people come and they have this expectation that
Mm.
what they did was enough, and you have to say to them, well, these are the standards and this is the criteria. And then when people are not happy about that, it kind of goes two ways, because if we want the profession to be seen as respectable and safe, and that when we are working with vulnerable people, that people can go, like just recently, I'm not going to name names, not allowed to as always, but there's been a person in New Zealand who I've had so many, oh my God, just probably more complaints about this one person in the whole time of being head of HNZ that I have of anybody else. Now, they're not a part of our association, so I cannot do
God.
anything. It's unregulated.
Mm.
But the latest one was not that good. So I hope it gets sorted out by
It
the
will catch up
by
with
the
her.
oh yeah,
It
I know,
will.
but
You
it's
know,
been a
word
long
gets out.
it's been about 8 years though, so I've been hearing things. Um but the thing is, it's like people want, I think we talked about this last time, people want a line in the sand to say which people have done up to a certain amount of training and which people can I safely go to and which people don't I. And say when we say, right, the registered members have done, say, a training, it's like the 1,000 hours. Bear in mind with HNZ, I know you have to be a lot harsher, Trish. Oh no, you do recognition of prior learning too, where
Yeah, we do
where
recognition
we
prior.
will, for that 1,000 hours, you can bring forward the training that you've done, and it just gets worked out. So it's not like you have to
Yeah, so if you've done
retrain
a
again with
3-day one, it's
somebody.
not like you're doing the whole shebang again. We Some of them we can do recognition prior
Yeah, yeah.
learning,
So
some
it's
of them we
recognition
can't.
of prior learning, but it's just setting that standard. So there's a difference between, okay, these people are up to have done this amount of training and it's safe and they've got their police check and they've got all this structure in place and they're following this space. And so when people come along and they have done, and like we said, there will be brilliant like you said, there'll be 3-day trainings out there and 4-day trainings for me that are a brilliant introduction to what
It's a
we
good
do. And then
starting
from
point.
there, people will buy little
Yeah, yeah.
trainings and learn more and more and get really good.
Mhm.
But when we're having to look at, if someone's wanting to come into the industry and wanting to be a registered member of
Be right up
CHA or
there.
AHA or HNZ or NZAPH or whatever, there are kind of have a look at the criteria of the level of training that you need to have to be in, and then reach out and say which ones do it. And there might
Also,
be there's heaps of people that probably do as well, but just check out the training first
but
because
you also have to
a lot of
understand from the client perspective as well. Clients are wanting to be more safe these days. We're not back 20 years ago. So, back when I was a massage therapist, you had the option to be registered with an associated body if you wanted to be. You didn't have to. And then that got changed. Why did it get changed? Because there were disgusting people that weaved their way into our industry and did disgusting things to people whilst
that
getting
happened
a
in New
massage.
Zealand.
It's
Oh, and
disgusting.
hypnotherapy.
No, no, in massage.
I
So
know,
this
but
is
we had it in hypnotherapy.
yeah, and that's why we are advocating for change because disgusting people weave their way in. Now, we can't stop these people at the gate. It's not like you get a mental health check before you can do your training to see whether you're up to par. Because trust me, there are some hypnotherapists I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you here? There are nurses in hospitals. Oh my gosh, why are you still doing this job? You know, there are disgusting people that weave their way into our industries. And that is why it's our industry has to change and level up, because from the client perspective, they want to be protected because they know these disgusting people are out there, and it's all over the news, it's all over social media. We're all connected so much these days, and it's all at your fingertips. So when these disgusting people start weaving in, we've got to go, you know what? What do we do about this to protect the client? And the client now looks at your stuff, and whether they can claim private health or not, they can look at your stuff and go, oh, she's good for private health. He's right up there with private health. This is fantastic. I feel safer going with them. Now, the
Yeah,
client doesn't know that part of that private health criteria is that you have to have your insurance, you have to have your police check, you're working with children, stuff like that. But that, on top of it, when they do learn about it, is even more safety
yeah.
from these disgusting people that weave into our
And I'm
fucking
absolutely
industry.
like I get devastated when I hear that a hypnotherapist has been abusive or bad with clients because it's such a,
Shh,
you know
it's
what I mean? People to you have to be
what
like to
makes
even
you
come to a
think you can do
hypnotherapist, you're
that?
quite brave. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
put yourself out there to go and work with someone, you know,
Well, even recently in Australia, there was a man who worked at a children's crèche or
oh
something.
yeah, the daycare centre, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was doing disgusting things to them. And
Yeah.
these are like little kids, like, you know, so sure, it's still happening in the registered bodies, but it's less.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
point is that it's
and they
less.
changed some rules there. I think
Yeah, they
that guy
leveled up.
wasn't getting checked out in a different daycares he was
Yeah,
working
so
at.
they
Yeah,
leveled up, and then we keep on going.
yeah,
And that's the reality to it. So if you're going to do some cheap training or some smaller training when it comes to this industry, fucking go for it. Go for
yeah,
it. It's going to be an amazing experience. You're going to get your little nuggets. But don't think
yeah,
for 1 second that when you go out there in business, you're not going to hit the wall, because
yeah,
it
yeah.
is
And I think
coming.
if there's something like become a hypnotherapist for 49 US dollars or 99 US dollars, fully certified, fully qualified through these industries.
There's your problem.
Um,
Fully, fully.
what I
No.
would be saying is if you really want to change your job and do it properly as a hypnotherapist, you wouldn't go and look at a 99 or $49 training.
Well, if
You,
you're going to be a
you
dentist, you wouldn't
just,
go to
no, you'd
go
have
and
to,
just pull people's teeth out. You go learn it.
do you know what I mean? And it's there's so much to learning it. And
Mm. And even with the spiritual aspect, or the more woo woo, if you want to call that, you know, learn the little cheapo courses, but at the same time, think to yourself, there's a reason why there's bigger investment and longer training on certain trainings
yeah,
as well. And that's about the client's safety side. The
yeah.
client going, yep, this
And
I'm
really
good with this
understanding
person.
like this there was one I looked at recently which was just a cheapo, become a qualified hypnotherapist course. And the safety module was good because it was saying stay within your scope of practice, stay within your scope of practice. But it didn't talk about, once again, it's that whole hypnosis is safe, hypnotherapy is safe, and then the language that was being taught in it about, clearing entities and all of this kind of stuff that if that's not in a person's reality, I just sat there thinking, oh my God, if you just went and did that on someone that didn't believe in entities and didn't believe in stuff like that, you're talking about changing people's reality into something really scary. And but so once again, we spend a lot of time in our trainings teaching people scope of practice, what they can and can't do to work with a team of people to make sure that if someone's under a psychologist that that everyone's aware of what's going on. And there's so
Yeah.
much
You go with people
learning
that are
around
experienced as
around your
well.
around your space, and
Yeah.
so much working, like doing it on other people, doing it with
Mm,
the people in the class. And
mm.
do you know what I mean?
And people like you and I, we were in the industry for years before we became trainers. We
Yeah.
didn't just do a training, then suddenly go, oh, I'm going to copy this and be a trainer myself. We didn't do any of
Oh,
that.
the copying, thank God, that's a whole nother ball game.
We did the legwork. we,
Yeah.
have the client stories behind us. And then there are always the storytellers as well. So there are those that go and do training, then just go and create their own training, and they're borrowing stories from other people, and they're going, oh, well, I heard this story. And it's like, yeah, but it's not yours. It's not
Yeah. Yeah.
your client. When I teach gut directed hypnosis, they're all my stories from my clients and real life experiences that I have to navigate that field with, and then level up the training and then tell my students, hey, we've
Yeah. Yeah.
discovered
Yeah.
this now, and we've now got this behind us, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm all for extra modalities. I'm a chronic student studier, whatever you want to call me. I'm a a priest of the student world. I love learning, but always learn those extra bits, but understand that they are accessories to the bigger stuff, and you can blend them, and that's where your scope gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen it a million times, people doing the smaller trainings and then coming out and thinking they are a fully fledged hypnotherapist. It's like, no, you're a hypnotist.
Well, I had that, like I said to you earlier, um, people do trainings that use or utilize hypnosis or, an altered state
Mm.
as a way of doing it, but they're told that this is hypnotherapy. And so
Mm.
I'm in quite, because I've done a lot of trainings, I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook and stuff. And like I said, the modalities I talk about, I freaking love them. And I recommend if you've got money, go learn them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
for
same.
me, it's I don't go to the pub and I don't go out to restaurants. I study.
That's
That's
my
my
thing.
passion, and I
Yep.
love learning things. So if people can afford to do it, do it. Um, but the comments and the questions, like the other day, is someone put a comment on one of the pages. Is this the only modality that utilizes the subconscious mind, that gets the conscious mind out of the way? And they had been pushed that this modality was like the only one that gets people into trance deep to allow communication of the subconscious mind. And I sat there thinking, it's like one of trillions, if not, uh, just this not concept of what actually
Mm.
hypnosis is, or what hypnotherapy is, or what just the stuff that you learn on day second of a actual clinical hypnotherapy training of understanding the mind. And there was another question the other day which was a fair enough question, and it was like, I just can't go deep with this thing. Is there something else? Is there another process or protocol I could learn that will actually help me experience what it is they were wanting to experience? And I ended up just going in there, and I did just say, just pick someone that you've got great rapport with and keep on working with them and keep on working with them till your trust is so high
Learn to
that you
trust.
go anywhere, and learn to go use these different states. It's not the modality, it's not the words that are being read out, it's the connection with the
The
person that
individual
you're
person, yeah.
working with that what is going to give you
Yeah.
these profound experiences, not the piece of paper that you're reading or the technique you've learned.
There are
But
some
all of
people
that
out
kind
there.
of basic stuff is just not
Yeah. There are
taught.
some
You know
people
what I
out
mean?
there that are great hypnotherapists, but I personally wouldn't have a session with them, not because they're not good at what they do, but because I prefer this person instead.
You won't have a session with me now, because our last one we went off to
No, no, that was good.
crazy
But
land.
even though I
I'm
ended up
only
like,
kidding.
ah,
Not only
no,
kidding.
that was a really good eye opener. I really enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
there are great hypnotherapists out there, but I wouldn't go to them because I like this instead. It's kind of like chocolate mousse. I don't buy it from every single place that has chocolate mousse. I just like a certain one, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
yeah.
with that. And I don't get it often enough, so I'm just going to buy this one.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And so
know?
for me, even just the basics of what we're doing, understanding about the connection with the person that you're working with and stuff, that's 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 the kind of stuff you learn when you're not just learning a modality, but you're learning a
You learn it from
whole
the
shebang of what
community.
what this is. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? What
yeah,
what this whole thing actually is.
yeah.
And yeah, so it's yeah, I'm
So,
getting lots of, I should be writing down all the questions that I see, because, and all questions are good questions, because the people that are
absolutely.
asking them, they just don't, they literally don't know,
They're
and they
gen
haven't been taught.
Yeah,
So
they're
they're
genuine.
genuine
Hmm.
questions, but they're questions that I would hope would be in any kind of modality. I
Oh,
remember that I won't say modalities because I don't teach this one and I don't want to get in trouble, but I remember teaching hypnosis or hypnotherapy that like just a diploma to these people and they had done this other modality before. And when I started teaching things like parts and these different things, they were like, you're not allowed to teach that. That's copyright by this modality. And I was like, that's not copyright. Parts is Charles Tibbitt's from I'm sure the late 1800s. I can't remember.
yeah.
But it was like they had been taught that all of these different things that were in the diploma was actually
Belong
this
to,
one modality and it belonged to that person and that person created all of them by themselves in the last 20 years. You know what I mean?
like some
So it
kind of
was quite
messiah.
so it's quite eye-opening for them to understand that no, what they learned was a brilliant modality, but the modality was made of all these cool different techniques put together in a beautiful way that flows and makes a really good session. So the person did put bits together and create this over thing, but once again, when you got into learning the clinical hypnotherapy, you actually learned all of those separately, where they came from, how you can do them in different ways. Like parts,
Yeah, you
how many
got to
ways
learn to
can you do
blend.
parts? You can do it this way. You
Yeah,
can speak to the part. You can do crazy shit where it's like an entity comes through and calls himself David. You know what I mean? You can do
yeah,
parts in
yeah.
so
Like,
many
and you
different
can blend
ways.
stuff. Like, I've got
Yeah,
no issues with doing a past. So
yeah,
people go back into the past, and then whilst they're sorting that out, I'll then do a disassociation where they go talk to the parts,
yeah,
and then the parts
exactly.
either integrate or separate, and then we go back to past, and then into future, and then we do parts there. So we blend
And
so
blending it all
much.
together. Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
blend it, and it's like take that part, throw that part away, fuck that off. Yep, we'll do that.
And
Like
so when you
it's
know all of these different techniques and ways of working and you split them all apart, and so you know them all, then you can make your own thing. Even like, you know how we talked about with the almond induction, how you'd said that you'd learned the almond induction and it was called
yeah,
just the basic induction.
basic
And no
induction.
one knew it was the almond induction and who created it. It was
Yeah,
just
and I
taught
didn't
as an
find that out
induction.
until I actually met you and then went, oh, is that where it comes from? Because you do get these trainers, unfortunately, that are like, it's my way or no way. And that's what I like as the core of what we're doing. So Hypnosis New Zealand and Clinical Hypnosis Australia, we don't care who you go with when it comes to your
Mm.
professional body, as long as you're feeling supported and you're doing what's right for the industry. We are allowed to have difference of opinions and still be friends,
Yeah,
and that's what we do inside of our trainings, where we will give credit where credit is due. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you go, we're there to support. Send us
mm.
an email. We don't mind helping you out. But if you get to a stage where you're in the shit and you're happy sitting in the toxicity, perhaps don't think about emailing me, because I'm like, well, you know what? You've been doing this for a while. What do you want me to do about it? You know, like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah,
fully supportive of, diversity as such, So, yeah, like seriously, do your little trainings, do your little trainings.
yeah,
But whatever you do, if you're going to go into this as a professional, as somebody who wants to be right up there and seen as a professional from the client perspective, then do your big stuff.
yeah.
Okay, reach out to people like Justine. She's got a training coming up in September. Reach out to people like myself, where I can tell you where the training is and why we recommend that
And there's
one.
different ones on our website too, like on the
Yeah,
HFMCHA website. If you go on there, it links to different,
yeah,
different
have a look.
courses.
And
And
the,
like
the
things like,
trainings the trainings that we have in our websites, those people have submitted the heavy stuff. So they have submitted their modules, why that is in the training, how many hours it is, their safety protocols, their grievance protocols, their refunds protocols. They have submitted all of that information. So it's not somebody going, oh, I don't know whether I can do a refund or not because you learnt this and blah, blah, blah. The people that are on our websites have gone through all of that heavy stuff and gone,
mm.
look, this is what it is. This is what we need. This is our four-step
And I tell you
process
what,
to a
people get put off, don't
complaint.
they? They don't want to do it, do they? Like there's so many people that go, oh no, I
Oh,
can't give
oh,
that
they're
up.
like, oh, it's unregulated and it's unlicensed, so I don't need to do that. And I'm like, are you that much of an asshole that you can't write up a refund policy? Or what if a student has another grievance with another student? What are you going to do about it? Because
Mm.
you have a responsibility as a decent human being, let alone a teacher, but as a decent human being to sort this out.
Yeah. And it's good to have it in your mind what you would do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
Because I'd hate to go into a situation and go, oh, fuck, people are fighting here. This is my conference. Stop it. Stop it, everybody. Uh, no, 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 no. Even my crew at my
I want to
conference,
see that.
people,
Can people scrap at the conference? Who's coming?
no
Put your
scrapping
hand
at
up
my
if you're coming to the
conference.
conference and we could have a fake fight to see what Trish will do.
Actually, no, don't do that because I'll probably get a water gun out and be like, no, this is in the
Go fighting
protocol.
like in
Did you read the
cats.
terms and conditions?
Is that what we do in cats fights? Squirt them with the water.
No, I'm an oi. I'm a classic Aussie. Oi, get out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
That's
our
fine.
trainers have the protocols. They've gone through the heavy stuff as well. And it's the same with our students, you know. We advise them for the code of ethics of what they can and can't do, what's outside of the scope. And we tell them, look, you know, you have to keep your paperwork. Your paperwork has to be in a filing cabinet that's metal with a lockable key, blah, blah, blah. You know, they have these protocols that they have to follow as a minimum standard for client protection.
Mm.
So thanks for everyone for joining in on this controversial topic. And if you like Justine, ask if there's stuff out the back. And if you like Trish, because I'm like, don't, I'm super lazy, I just take a photo of the item and search for it on Google.
That's not lazy because you have to go driving elsewhere. Mine's the lazy option. It's like, find me what I want. And then they always say to me, would you like me to order it in? But I know that in 15 minutes, I'll be in another shop and I'll never remember those sneakers again. So I usually say no because in 3 days' time, I'll get buyer's regret.
So
Just because
we've just got to do distraction
that's very
process with
quick.
you.
What's that?
Just distraction process with you. Oh, look over here, Justine. Look over here.
Oh,
There you go.
no. My daughter does it to me all the time. She drags me in like she's like, no, you're not going in there. No, you don't want it. I do want it. She goes, yeah, but you only want it for 5 minutes. And she'll drag me away from things. Oh, you're not going over there. She'll pull me over there. She knows all she needs to do is show
She's
me something.
always got a lolly in her pocket going, here, Justine. Here, Justine.
We went to a horse shop and they were selling gold boots to put on the horse. Now I like gold. Okay, they were gold like boots, and I thought they were so cute. They were cute for a big brown horsey with these gold boots on. So when they trot, it's gold. Come on, it's very cool. And she was like, "No,
I didn't
mum."
even know that was a thing.
Yeah, and she was like, she was saying, "Mum, you only want them because you're gold, and we're not going to put them on the horse and walk away." And I was like, "Yeah, but they're 69.95 down to $20. Like they're $49 off." And she's like, we're not using them." They go, "Do you know what? She worked very, very hard, but she was paying for her own stuff, right? So she was paying for her saddle blanket she was buying and her stuff out of her own money. So anyway, she had $100 and it went to 105, right? And so she needed to use my card. And she looked at the lady and she goes, "Don't let her use her card. She's going to buy them." And just because she said that, I bought the bastard boots, swiped my card, and walked out. And I think they did get put on the horse once, but now they're in the back of the truck, probably getting wrecked like she said they would. But I do know her friend, I think, put them on the horse. But they were like, they must have been from Christmas. They have sheepskin on the inside, and then they've got the gold, and you wrap them on so that when they, oh yeah, it's cute. But anyway,
We now need to see photos of that. You need to put photos in the comments of this video so
yes,
that
I
we
will
can see what
find.
you're
Yes,
talking
I will
about.
get. I'll make sure that the next time she rides, she puts the gold things on because everyone will
But
go,
at least they used twice.
Yeah, and then they'll be used twice. But yeah, she's very good at distracting me and pulling me away.
Right. Everybody
Yeah,
needs gold sparkly sticks at Australian Hypnosis Conference.
yeah,
So if
I love
Justine's doing something
sparkly
dumb,
stuff.
we can like over here.
Over here, ding, 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 ding. Yeah,
All right, everybody. We will catch you in the future. By all means, send us some comments and messages. We are always here to help you. Bye bye.
yeah.